Welcome to Opinion Havers, a movie podcast for people who drop things to distract women. I'm Cody.
And I'm Tyler.
Oh, it's a special episode.
So special.
It's a special day.
It's a good one.
Oh, because this is James Bond.
Yes.
The man with the golden gun. The one we've been waiting for. Tyler's favorite so far.
My favorite.
Oh, and we're gonna dive right on into it. No holds barred. Oh, no races off the table to be exploited for cinema.
Yes.
You want to go first? You want the honor? Do you want to cede the honor to me? Do you want to?
I mean,
you
always go first, but so I don't know if we want to break the chain or if we want to keep it going.
Oh, are you ready to break the chain?
I mean,
break the chain, take the reins.
I feel like I have the brand.
You have it.
I have it, but then this always happens. We're 2 minutes in, and I run out of steam. No,
you have to do it now.
Now I have to do it?
You have to.
Okay. Cody, let me tell you about this movie, okay? Here's the thing. Kalen came in halfway through the movie, talking smack on the golden gun made by some lighters company. I couldn't read the name of the company because in the credits it had a weird font, a different font from every other word in the credits, so I couldn't read it. Why is he focusing on this? There's so much more. Because I know you'll get to the rest of it, Cody. You got Nick Nack, Cody. Nick Nack, he's there. Nick Nack, Paddywhack. This is the best character ever. He's better than Oddjob. That's what I'm saying. Everybody loves Oddjob. He's better than Oddjob. Oddjob, he's just a large man. Guess what Nick Nack is, Cody? Don't say anything. He's a small man. He's a small, French, possibly Filipino man. Okay? Questionable descent. We'll have to look into it at a later date. We don't have time for that today, Cody. But he's inviting people to the island. He is running all the switches. He's getting all the peeps killed. He's trying to kill people because he wants the money, but he doesn't want to kill Scarface. Okay? What's the guy's name, Cody? Scarmonitor. That's his name. Everybody says it differently for the first half of the movie. Nobody's consistent about it. They all say it differently, and then they're all fine. Can we talk about the fact that the actual legitimate Frenchman mispronounced coup de grace? He said coup de grace or something, and it was not correct. That's not how you pronounce it. And you're like, well, the French guy pronounced it that way. I say he's not a real Frenchman if that's how he pronounces it. He's a tiny man. He pronounces his words tiny. That's what I say about that. But he's the best. He grips the knife in his mouth by the blade. You're thinking you always do that by the blade. No. You normally put it in flatways, Cody. You put it in the flatways. You saw this. He put it in the blades in his lips. The blades in the top and bottom lip. And he bit it. And he bit it for about 2.5 seconds, if that. And then it fell. And then it fell and he dropped it. And it was just gone. And then he had to stand off. Oh, Cody. There's a lot of Bond women in this movie. Which one was the Bond woman? Here's what I say. The Bond woman is the one with the most ridiculous name. Chew Me, the naked woman in the pool, is the Bond woman. He's like, hello, who are you? And she's like, I'm Chew Me. And he's like, oh, really? And then starts to take his clothes off. Okay? He's in the middle of an enemy compound. He sees a woman, and he starts to be like, let's get it. Let's go after this one. You can't do that. In the midst of the enemy, you gotta keep your clothes on, Bond. That's the thing. But guess what, Cody? Shocker, he's got the third nipple, which to some cults is in invulnerability and is it fertility? Prowess? Prowess, that's what Cody has. But he pinched his nipple, as he said, prowess, and twisted it. So I think that's gotta be it, right? The third nipple. Christopher Lee had a third nipple in this movie. It's really just all coming back to me in a flood of emotions. Christopher Lee, Saruman, and Count Dooku, as well as a bunch of other stuff. But nobody cares about all that other stuff that he won all kinds of awards for. Nobody cares. They care about Scarsmith, and they care about Saruman, and they care about Count Dooku, okay? Darth Tyrannus is his name, for those of you who forgot. Darth Tyrannus. He should have made him Darth Skirnishma. Okay? So he's the guy with the golden gun. He makes it in front of everybody, and nobody calls him on it. He's just sitting there building a gun all the time. Nobody ever says anything. Nobody calls him out. Nobody's like, "What are you doing over there? What do you got? You got a bullet there?" No. Finding that bullet, James Bond, he busts in on a gun maker, an internationally well-known gun maker, and threatens to shoot him. He threatens him. Cody, is that a good idea? Give me a nod. Give me a wink. Give me a tongue wiggle if it's a bad idea. It's a bad... He just shook his head. He didn't do the tongue wiggle. It's a bad... Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. He threatens to shoot him. He's shooting 1 inch low, Cody, because he has 5 fingers instead of 2 fingers. So it's shooting 1 inch low. So he aims at the man's crotch and misses. And he said, 1 inch low. What does that mean? He's calling him out, Cody. He's saying 1 inch. That was enough to miss him. You missed that, didn't you?
I'm gonna have to cut you off right there, Tyler. You made some good points. And I have a few things to say about them.
Okay.
Will you give me the floor? Please, sir? Will you cede your time, sir? So here's the thing. Here's the thing about having 3 nipples. Okay, here's the thing about making a fake nipple as a makeup artist. What I learned in this movie is that it is not possible. There's only one color of fake nipple, and it never matches your nipple. First, on Scaramanga, once you see it spelled, you're like, okay, well, I know how to say that. When you hear 5 different people pronounce it 5 different ways, you have no idea what his name is. Anyway, Christopher Lee, the fake nipple, it's a different color. And then later on, when James Bond has put a fake nipple on himself as a decoy, also a different color from his nipple. Like, I understand that, like, a nipple can be many shades of the rainbow. Like, there's a rainbow of nipple colors. But they never match. It didn't make any sense to me. Like, why would your nipple be a different color? Explain that to me. Someone? Anyone? It seems like it would be the same color. The thing about the gun. Okay, you make a good point, right? Who goes to a weapons manufacturer and threatens him with a weapon? It doesn't really make sense. He wasn't a very tough guy. I mean, maybe, I don't know. You make a good point. But here's the point that I want to bring up. You talked about the gun he made for the man who was missing fingers, right? And so it's a little different and sighted different for him. Because the trigger is the butt of the gun. There's a little mechanism, so when you squeeze it to your chest, then it fires. If you drop that gun, it just goes off. Like, you drop the gun, it goes off, it kills somebody. Like, it's a terrible, terrible idea. I was amazed. I was very impressed. They a little less nipple in this movie. I'm not saying there were 0 nipples. There were obviously 2 people with 6 nipples for 2. 6 nipples on 2 people, right? They just try it from the nipple. Previous movies, there's different things. This one, you talked about the butt in the pool. There's a butt in the trailer in the intro sequence. The song. I was like, they're keeping it fresh. They're branching out. This is the 4th film this director has done, so he's got some tricks up his sleeve. My favorite trick, I'm just gonna say it. Our favorite trick, bringing back J.W. Pepper, everyone's favorite Louisian. Is that right? Sergeant, was he? Deputy Sheriff? What was he? He was in charge, and he was a policeman, okay? From the boat chase scene in a previous film, Live and Let Die, probably. And, he's on vacation in Bangkok, obviously. He's on a boat. They're touring. James Bond comes rushing by, and I was like, no. Of all the things to bring back, are they gonna bring back Oddjob? Are they gonna bring back Pussy Galore? Who could they possibly bring back from a previous movie? J.W. Pepper. Just the worst. I can't. He was on the boat, and I was like, there's no way he's in more of this movie. 10 minutes later, he pops back up, he's teaming up with James Bond, and they're running around getting into all kinds of trouble. I couldn't believe it. I know that in the last movie they went all in on Pepper, but I learned that the director specifically requested he be written into this movie. He was not in the movie, and he went to the screenwriter and said, hey, listen, I need J.W. Peppa in this movie. I need you to get him in here. I was shook. This is unprecedented, never been done in a Bond movie. And of all the characters to do, J.W. Pepper is in like 10 or 15 minutes of this movie. It was amazing. Maybe one of my favorite, I don't know about you, one of my favorite moments from this movie, a woman killing a man with a watermelon? That was what we saw, right? There were two girls, and they looked like schoolgirls, and then it turns out they were schoolgirls. Karate school girls. Their dad owns the karate dojo, and so they were beating up all the ninjas or whatever, and they push one down in a cart, throw a melon point blank at his head. The melon explodes. That man's dead, right? It wasn't even like, it was a small, like the size of a cannonball melon. I don't think you can survive something like that. James Bond starts to seduce a woman. Goodnight. That's the woman's name. Goodnight. And then gets interrupted by another woman who wants to seduce him. So he puts Goodnight in a closet, and then lets the other woman seduce him, and then still gets with Goodnight in the end. How does he? I don't understand. How's he getting away with this? How is he doing it?
I'm gonna have to cut you off right there. It's all the time you have. Sorry to cut you off at the peak of your rant here. Let me just lean it back into the microphone so it's leaning
so people can hear you. There's so much more to talk about. Okay,
J.W. Pepper.
Can I ask you, like, on a scale of your favorite to least favorite movie we've seen so far, Bond-wise, where's this rank? Is this in the upper echelon? Is it kind of on the lower half? Where do you put this one?
This one was a roller coaster of emotions that drove my mind insane.
So it was the best one?
Yes.
This one has one of the lower scores, I think. Like Rotten Tomatoes.
It makes no sense.
It definitely doesn't make any sense. Even like from the very beginning, we see the man with 3 nipples, and then there's a guy that comes and is like, and then there's the little person butler, Nick Nack, who takes him into a room, and then it's like a trap, and you're like, oh, he's trying to kill Christopher Lee. No, Christopher Lee's trying to kill him. No, Nick Nack is trying to kill both of them. I still don't understand how that transaction works. How does it work? He was hired to kill Christopher Lee? Christopher Lee was hired... No, because he brought money. Was he bringing money... Why did he come?
So he was... I think he was training for Skarmosa. He was like... Nick Nack hired him because I think...
Oh, because Nick Nack...
Nick Nack and Scarfoot, they got this thing going on where Nick Nack is allowed to hire people to kill Saruman. He's got to, they've got to succeed.
Except, why would he put the guy in the maze and distract him a whole bunch?
Because he's got to do it that way to get the millions.
I don't understand.
It's like a game. They're having fun with it, Cody. That's what you don't understand. They're having fun with the attempted murder.
I mean, you're right. They are having a good time.
They're out here living their best life. And what are you doing? Nothing.
I'm just watching other people live their best lives. Oh, how about when Nick Nack teams up with the 2 sumo wrestler guys, and he defeats James... he knocks out James Bond by tapping him on the head with, a toy trident? You remember that?
Yes.
He just, you even hear the little tink, where you're like, well, that's a toy. And then James Bond just gets knocked out. Do you understand that?
I mean, I think it was really...
Nick Nack shirtless
I think Nick
was like a spectacle. I couldn't make heads or tails of it.
Well, because a lot of times, you see, Peter Dinklage shirtless, and he looks like a tiny man. He still has, man muscles.
Right.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Or they have, or they're just like but they don't. He had a child's body.
Yeah,
he was a fully grown man.
It was quite a physique to behold.
Yeah.
Because the first thing you see, you're just like, pecs, alright? This man is all pecs. But you're like, wait, his pecs are so high. They're very high.
He had a very long body for a
then a long body, but then like a really solid belly that you don't really notice when he's in his little like tuxedo and stuff.
Yeah. He was fit for a tiny man.
Except when his shirt's off, he has a giant belly.
Yeah.
I didn't... But that's not...
Yeah.
I just can't make sense of it.
He was like a tiny Bruce Lee.
It was so weird, because, like, there were moments where I was like, Nick Nack, you little rascal, you're the best. And there were other moments where I was like, Nick Nack, I'm afraid of you, and I don't want you to be in this scene.
That's why he's better than Oddjob. Because Oddjob, you're just...
Oddjob has one speed, one gear, terrified. You know? He's like, okay, he's there.
He's like the Terminator.
Nick Nack's all over the place. Just like this movie.
Nick Nack's like Sarah Connor after she could do pull-ups.
Did I tell you I saw Terminator Dark Fate?
No.
Over Christmas? I did.
Are we gonna do a thing for that?
Probably not.
No. I kind of want to watch it, but I don't at the same time. But I haven't seen Genesis either.
List of Terminator movies I've seen.
Dark Fate.
Terminator Salvation.
Oh.
Terminator Dark Fate. 4 and 6. You got if you're gonna see 2 Terminator movies, it's got to be 4 and 6.
I've got an unpopular opinion, a confession, if you will.
Please. It's a safe space.
I thought Salvation was alright because I like dumb action movies that don't make sense, and I thought it was alright.
I was pretty young when I'd seen it. I didn't really quite understand it, and I was like, "This is okay." I don't know.
It was a forgettable film, but it was fun to watch.
I thought Dark Fate was like a decent film. Like it was good. It wasn't fantastic, but it was like, oh, it's pretty good. I should probably just see 2, right?
I mean, one's good. 2's better.
Yeah, 1's like an indie film, right? And then 2 is like, oh, we got budget and we're doing some real cutting edge effects.
You want to know a fun fact? So Schwarzenegger from Austria.
I've seen him. He
doesn't do the Austrian lines. He's dubbed. He wanted to. He wanted to do Austrian. He's like, can I do the lines? Is it Austrian or is it just German? I can't remember what they speak.
He's Austrian. I don't know what they speak in Austria.
Whatever they speak, because I can't remember if it is Austrian or they have their own.
Hey Google, what language do they speak in Austria?
The official language of Austria is German.
Okay, so you want to do the German lines?
Yeah.
And they told him no, because apparently his accent is like a hillbilly accent.
Oh no.
In Austria, and they're like, that wouldn't make sense for a super advanced robot from the future to sound like a hillbilly.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
Yeah, because apparently he's from the country in the middle of nowhere in Austria.
Wow.
It's like, oh, that's funny that he's dubbed.
That's great.
In the German-speaking places.
Wow.
It's heartbreaking, really. He's the governor of your home state. He was.
The governator, as we lovingly referred to him. That's what we called him. Oh.
I watched a documentary once about him being the governator.
How was that?
It was fascinating, actually. It was very fascinating. He did a press conference, I don't know if you knew this, where he left being the governor for a while, left the lieutenant governor in charge to go film Terminator.
It's California.
And he said, I'll be back in the press conference.
We have not had a better governor.
You've not.
And
you've had several actors as governors. Who's the next actor to be the governor of California?
The next actor, it's got to be Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo? That's maybe the one you're going with?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I have a better one.
I mean...
But I forget his name. It was a good one, though.
I thought you were going to say, like, Kevin Hart or something. You
know? Oh, gosh. I think The Rock would do it.
Doesn't live in California.
What's the name of that guy? Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren? Oh,
Can you imagine
Dolph Lundgren?
If he became governor after Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh,
that'd be awesome.
I'd vote for Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, me too.
You know, he's got several degrees.
He has a master's degree in science or something.
chemistry. He has a PhD in chemistry.
Smart boy.
He has a master's degree in chemical engineering, and he has a honorary PhD, I think.
That's pretty cool.
He's more qualified to be the science guy.
Sure is.
Hashtag Dr. Dolph Lundgren, new science guy.
Ow.
Cody?
The sidekick in this movie, so...
Hip?
There's a sidekick, what's his name?
Hip.
His name's Hip. He is very excited to be there.
Yeah. A little too excited.
In, like, the word... What did he say? So... They managed to get, like, the solar plex. Is that what it's called? The special device that's supposed to solve the energy crisis?
I think so.
They get that. He slips it into his tray of peanuts. He's disguised as a peanut seller at the kickboxing arena, and then he gives that to Goodnight. Once again, the name of a woman. And she slips into her purse, and he's like, "Take this. I'm going to go help him. He's in trouble. Call the police." He's like smiling, saying all this. I was like, "What are you?" And he's like kind of shouting it, and then like, "You're right. Just tell her. I don't." You're shouting all this stuff about this secret mission. I don't.
And right before that, they're all talking on their walkie-talkies. And Bond and Goodnight, they're all like, "Yeah, we got Bond." And he's like, "Yeah, so I'm over here as the peanut guy, and what are we doing? Did you get the thing?"
Was it the scene before that where they were at the karate school and James Bond makes his escape and then they're all running to the car and then James Bond goes around to go to the passenger side of the car and Hip just drives off, grinning. Like, meanwhile, the girls in the backseat are like, "James Bond is back there, what are you doing?" And he just drives away.
Yeah.
He just drives away.
There's a couple scenes, but yeah, no, it was not long after. Yeah, no, he leaves it.
He's so excited. He's just grinning, driving away.
Why did he leave him, Cody? I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because J.W. Peppa had to be written
Oh my god. You're so right.
They had to make him just drive away without him because they're like, "We need another body chase."
J.W. Peppa to get into this.
He's a Louisiana state trooper. That's what he is. I think. He's a state police.
And then they get out of the car. They're supposed to be, like, secret. J.W. Pepper's like, "Alright, let's go get these guys." And James Bond's like, "Please be quiet."
No, he is the sheriff because he got mad at the state troopers.
Yeah.
He's the sheriff.
Just, like, the audacity to plop some, like, goofy side character from a movie into the next movie that takes place in a different country is just bananas.
Oh, Cody, I have a...
Okay, if you're J.W. Peppa, who is your dream vacation? Is it Bangkok? Is it Thailand?
Cody, here's my real question for you.
Talk to me.
How many Bond movies do you think J.W. Peppa is in?
You can't... If it's more than 2, I will quit. I will quit this podcast. How?
Cody.
He can't be in more.
He is in 2 official Eon production films.
Oh no.
And he is in a 3rd Bond film.
Which one?
It is called... Let me make sure I actually get the right name because it's the same as another one, just a little different. It is From Hong Kong with Love, I believe is the name of it.
What?
As I scroll down to it. From Hong Kong with Love. He plays Bill.
Ugh.
Now, there's more to it. The Queen of England gets kidnapped or something. The French people show up, and they've got all kinds of, like... There's 4 French people with an agent, and they're with a maid that looks exactly like the Queen of England, and they're all dumb. It's like a spoof movie.
Oh, okay.
But here's the crazy thing.
What?
He doesn't play J.W. Peppa. He plays Bill. But... all the other, like, background characters, like M and Moneypenny, same characters.
No.
Same actors.
What is this franchise?
Who knows, man? There's one that's not ever... I didn't know it wasn't officially licensed until you were so scared to watch it, and then I thought it might not be an official movie, which is when Sean Connery comes back, like, 10 years after this one.
It's in, like, 83 or something, like, early 80s.
which everybody thinks of as an official Bond movie and how crazy it is. It's not. It's just another company that made it.
Oh my gosh.
That made a Bond movie.
Yeah, because Moneypenny's in it.
Yeah.
Gosh.
But it's because it's the one where they get together, you said.
She gets in on the action.
Her turn comes. As Bond said, your turn will come one day, good night. And she gets real excited when he says that. He makes her sleep in a closet while he has sex with another girl?
Yeah.
We didn't mention that.
It was so funny, too, because Goodnight is just sitting there like, I won't be one of your little flings and whatever, and how dare you, and I don't even know what your problem is. Then she, like, puts on lingerie and is like, are we doing this? You're like, what? Yeah. You just said all this stuff about... Yeah, right. And then puts her in a closet, and then guess what happens at the end of the movie? Big, bang, boom, get together. You know what I'm sick of in these Bond... Here's what I'm sick of in these Bond movies. They beat the bad guy, they do the mission, they're on their way out. And then randomly, one of the henchmen is like, nope, I'ma finish the job. Because I still got a stake in this. It doesn't make sense. It happened with the creepy killer guys, Mr. What's her name, and Dr...
Oh, Mr. Hands and Mr... Smile or something.
Yeah, and then it happened in this one with Nick Nack. Nick Nack bites a knife that is not sharp at all, drops it, lands, disappears, reappears, throws bottles.
There are trap doors in that.
He puts him in a trunk. He does. Okay, here's another thing. The back area of a car, you know where you store things? What's that called?
It's called the widget. The silly widget.
It's called the trunk.
Oh.
Or if you live overseas some areas, it's called the boot. What's a more British sounding term? Boot, trunk.
Boot.
Incorrect. A trunk, you think of like a trunk, you know, like Harry Potter, they talk about their trunk, where you put your stuff, you know, your big luggage, your trunk, you put it in there. How is that not what they call the trunk?
Cody.
A boot.
Allow me to adopt
a boot.
The vague, terrible Australian British accent, you know? Let me defend the boot.
A boot.
Trunk.
A boot.
If you say, I'm going to go put say you're going to go put the blanket in the trunk. Tell me. I'm a person.
I have to go put my blanket in the trunk.
Why are you putting it? It needs to go in the car. Why are you putting it upstairs in your room in your trunk?
Ugh.
It's confusing. You Americans are awful because you call the same stuff. How can you decipher the difference between the two trunks? Just call it the boot. I'm not going to think you're putting it in your boots.
I just don't understand. Okay, there's a couple things I have to hit on. We're running out of time. No. Number one, there is a slide whistle sound effect when they do a corkscrew jump over the river.
Which was a bold choice.
J.W. Pep. Slide whistle. A slide whistle.
Yeah.
And then they refuse to use the slide whistle sound when she pushes the button with her butt accidentally.
The button.
Come on, that would have been even better. The button.
Here's the question, Cody.
What?
How would you rate the music that accompanied the Bayou-esque chase?
I don't even know.
I can tell you there was music because it didn't sound wrong. Like it did when there wasn't any. And it was
because there was one or two scenes in this that there was a chase scene without music, and then later they're like, nah, there really should be music, right?
Yeah.
The composer for No Time to Die, the new Bond movie coming out, just got canned and replaced by Hans Zimmer. He has like a month to score all of the Bond movie.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. Here's the thing.
But he's also got like a massive back catalog that he can just pull from.
That's true. Remember, there's a scene in this with M and Q, which normally they're not together. Q is off in Gadget Room, and M just roasts Q. He tells him to shut up like 3 times. He's like, shut up, Q. You're like, what? I don't understand.
He's just an excited guy. He's just happy to be there.
Finally, I have a point to make.
Okay.
My favorite Bond superpower, maybe I've said this before, I don't know, they're all blurring together, is how James Bond just knows everything about how everything works always.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yes, that's the 1962 model of whatever manufactured by the Worthingham Corporation. As you can see here, it's got 5 levers, and then, he knows how everything works. It doesn't make... all he does in his spare time is drink Dom Perignon 1962 and seduce his coworkers and his marks. And that's all he... How's he learning about these things?
That's why he drinks all the time. He does that drunk recollection thing, you know, where you learn stuff drunk and then you don't know it, but then you get drunk again and you remember it.
You remember it?
That's why he's always drinking. Yeah. But that was one of the movies where they have M even be like mad at him about how he just always knows everything. And every time he gets the chance, he's like, "You're wrong," and he's always like, "But I'm actually right. Of course you know I meant this."
Oh,
like where he's like, Sherry doesn't have a year, and he's like, "I was of course talking about the champagne it was based on," or something like that. It's
oh my gosh!
Like, and the guy's like, "Oh, you know your Sherry," and I was like, "Nobody knows their Sherry. It's a trash drink. It's an imitation of a cheap wine. Don't be so high and mighty about it."
I don't know if I liked this one. I
loved it.
I don't think it was good. J.W. Peppa. May he rest in peace.
It's a dumpster fire of a movie, and I loved every minute of it.
And Christopher Lee is the villain. That's the thing.
That scene when they're at that boxing ring and he's doing his like villain monologue, I was like, oh, he is on another level of like just as far as like his ability to deliver lines.
Gosh,
and
it's kind of like how they got Christoph Waltz to be Inspector.
Yeah.
And you're like, this movie sure is bad, but Christoph Waltz is great. Like, I don't know. But that's another episode for another time.
Yeah, one day, maybe in 3 years.
Maybe in 3 years we'll share that with you.
Everybody's starting to do their in-review series. They're all copying us on the James Bond.
Oh, gosh.
Let them beat us.
We gotta hurry up. Well, same time tomorrow then?
Yep, every day for the rest of our lives, James Bond.
Until next time. Share us, rate us, Opinion Havers. Tweet me at Opinion Havers.
Yep, we're on all the things. Every service, everywhere. Even Spotify and Spoofy. That's Spotify.
Until next time. Watch movies.
And have opinions.
It works either way.
It does. So we always say it that way.
Oh. Nick Nack.
Oh. Why do they do 20 paces? Isn't it usually 10 paces?
Yeah, but if you're gonna hide, like Christopher Lee did, you kind of need the extra time. Like, you gotta get a little closer to the rocks so you can, scurry away.
Yeah, he was also counting way faster than they were stepping. I need to stop this recording.